Myself such time as I may consume. Americans do not trust Congress. From the highest levels of office, an elected member of this body enabled the fraudulent spending of $32 million out of the pockets of our American people and threw it down the drain to knowingly chase ghosts, all for political gain. This man occupied a position of the highest trust and authority. As chair of the House Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff launched an all-out political campaign built on baseless distortions against a sitting U.S. president at the expense of every single citizen in this country and the honor of the House of Representatives. With access to sensitive information unavailable to most members of Congress and certainly not accessible to the American people, Schiff abused his privileges claiming to know the truth, while leaving Americans in the dark about this web of lies. Lies so severe that they altered the course of the country forever. The lie that President Donald Trump colluded with Russia to steal the 2016 presidential election, revealed to be completely false by numerous investigations, including the Durham report. The lie that the Steele dossier, a folder of falsified and since completely debunked collusions, accusations funded by the Democrat Party, had any shred of credibility. Yet Schiff read it into congressional record as fact. Lies concocted and compiled in a false memo that was used to lie to the FISA court to precipitate domestic spying on U.S. citizen Carter Page, violating American civil liberties. Not only was this egregious abuse of Schiff's privileged access to classified information.
You know, at this point, Adam Schiff getting caught lying is like the sequel no one asked for. Same plot, just more drama. But today, the curtain finally dropped on years of deception. Members of Congress, Paulina Luna and Harriet Hageman, went straight for the truth. And Schiff couldn't hide behind his Intel Committee secrets this time. $32 million wasted, trust in Congress shattered, and the country divided, all because one man couldn't stop pretending he had smoking gun evidence. Grab your popcorn for this one. And before we dive in, hit that subscribe button because this hearing was pure political fireworks.
Mr. Schiff exploited his position as chair of Intel Committee and every opportunity possible, threatening national security, undermining our duly elected president, and bringing dishonor upon the institution. Perhaps most unforgivable, Schiff ripped apart American families across the country with repeated false narratives. His own political good was served by permanently destroying family relationships and sowing lasting division across our land, which we live with every single day. The perpetrator of this web of deceit became mainstays on cable news, waking up every morning with one goal: to lie to the American people that there was a direct evidence of Russia collusion. Despite transcripts from Schiff's investigation showing that the Director of National Intelligence, former Obama Attorney General, former Attorney General, and FBI Director, to name a few, went on record telling Schiff's committee that there was no direct evidence for his criminal conspiracy. Yet to this day, Schiff actively fundraises off of his exploitation of Americans as if robbing them from the truth and $32 million in taxpayer dollars was not enough. Can anyone in this chamber comprehend this list of crimes and yet somehow believe that there should not be an answer for it? This is not a partisan act. This is not a conservative versus liberal vote. This is a clear vote between right and wrong, and I urge you to do the right thing. I will end with repeating with what I started with. The American people do not trust Congress. The cyclical pattern of lies has worn down the credibility of every institution and every official in the United States government. You see it, I see it. If we run away from this opportunity to hold this man accountable, there is only one fault, and that is of ourselves. We will betray the people who trusted us and sent us here to do the right thing. We will be responsible for the end of any shred of justice in this body, and we will reject the duty that we swore an oath to protect upon taking office. I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentlewoman reserves.
Gentleman from Wyoming, Representative Hageman.
Gentlewoman's recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I take my duties as Wyoming's lone congressional representative very seriously, and my obligation to be honest and trustworthy is the foundation of my ability to carry them out. This privileged resolution isn't about politics. It is about the seriousness of being honest and forthright as a member of Congress and upholding the oath of office that we all take upon being sworn in. It is true that the gentleman from California wouldn't be the first member of Congress to exaggerate or stretch the truth, but willfully lying about serious issues our country has faced is something entirely different, and claiming that a sitting president has committed what amounts to treason is beyond simple hyperbole. Lies led to the wasting of millions of taxpayer dollars for unnecessary investigations and the deflection of our attention from the most pressing issues at hand to focus on a made-up crisis. This member's actions were designed to delegitimize the 2016 election and to hamstring the Trump administration. For all the talk about not accepting the election results in 2020, perhaps Democrats and the media, which are mostly one and the same, might want to look at their actions in 2016. To make matters worse, this representative perpetuated these lies while he was chair of the House Intel Committee and consistently implied, if not outright stated, that he had inside information. In that capacity, he lied about how the FBI and DOJ obtained and renewed a FISA warrant. The FBI and DOJ officials did not omit material information from the FISA warrant. How the DOJ used the Steele dossier, what was collected via the FISA warrant, the FBI's vetting process for the Steele dossier, that he had an alleged smoking gun showing that President Trump colluded with Russia. And if each of these claims has proven to be false. But the lies have continued. In fact, they have become compulsive, and they continue right through to this very day. The lies weaken this body, and if left unchecked, threaten the rule of law, our election integrity, and the civil rights of his targets. The words and actions of this member were dangerous and untrue, knowingly untrue. There must be a serious consequence for that. Being censored is the least of what he should be subjected to, and I support this resolution.
Schiff probably wished he had a mute button right about then. Then Luna brought up the infamous Steele dossier, that fictional bedtime story Schiff once read into the Congressional record like it was gospel. Remember that? Turns out, it was funded by the Democrats and completely debunked, yet Schiff sold it to America like it was the next Watergate. Luna joked, "At least when Netflix makes fiction, they label it a series, not classified information." The laughter in the room? You could tell even some Democrats had to smirk. But she wasn't done. She slammed him for pushing a FISA memo packed with 17 errors and omissions just to spy on Carter Page. "That wasn't intel work," she said. "That was creative writing, with a clearance badge." Then Representative Harriet Hageman from Wyoming took the mic, calm, steady, but sharp like a scalpel. She accused Schiff of turning lies into legislation and misinformation into a media career. She said he didn't just mislead the country, he manipulated it for years. Hageman reminded everyone that Schiff claimed to have direct evidence of collusion, but after years of investigation, not even a parking ticket could back it up. She deadpanned, "If Adam Schiff had $1 for every time he said classified evidence, he'd owe taxpayers another $32 million. The room cracked up. But behind the humor, her point was deadly serious. Schiff's lies weakened democracy itself. By this point, Luna and Hageman were perfectly in sync, calling for accountability, not revenge. They said this wasn't about partisanship, it was about integrity. Schiff's years of deception, they argued, eroded every bit of public confidence in Congress. The takeaway was simple. If a lawmaker can lie repeatedly, misuse taxpayer money, and still keep his seat, what message does that send? They demanded censure at minimum, and frankly, the crowd agreed. Schiff sat there stone-faced, probably wishing he could call CNN for backup. By the end, it felt less like a hearing and more like a long-overdue accountability session. Luna and Hageman didn't just expose Schiff, they humiliated him with facts, receipts, and a little well-placed sarcasm. For years, Schiff built his career on lies. Today, those lies finally caught up to him. What do you think? Should he finally face real consequences? Drop your thoughts below, and if you're tired of political double talk, hit that subscribe button so you never miss the truth from Capitol Hill. I'll say this. If lying were an Olympic sport, Schiff would have more medals than Michael Phelps. But in this Congress, the truth is finally swimming back to the surface. Stay tuned, stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one.